Hey, it's 2582 coming back at you with another video. And today, man, this is probably going to be one of the most expensive diecast I'm ever going to do a review on. But I could have gotten it for more expensive because the diecast in question, surprisingly, it's a Hot Wheels car. But this is the California Customs release from 2006, the 94 Camaro. Now, why did I say this is the most expensive diecast I'm probably ever going to open up? And yes, I will open it, even though I've been kind of dreading, surprisingly, that I kind of wanted to not open it. Because the box itself looks stunning. It looks amazing. Just take a look at it. It looks awesome. And like I said, this car has a lot of value for some reason. Because there's a bunch of other cars that were released too, but I believe this was the only race car, and of course, the term race car gets me excited. This thing is worth hundreds of dollars on average, like $100, maybe $200, like I've seen. And this one I got it for, wait for it, like $50. Yeah, I got this for a massive steal on eBay. I just saw it. I was like, it's at $50. I have to take it, you know. Because even just loose, I've seen one listing previously, like a long time ago. One of them loose, $50, is sold almost immediately. And I was surprised that this thing lasted a day when I saw it. And once I saw it the next day, I'm like, yeah, I gotta swoop in and buy this, because I don't think I'm ever gonna find another one in this price. Or maybe in the future there's probably one that's cheap and they probably the price is lowered on this. But like I said, I've been dreading to open it because, like I said, the box looks amazing. And this car I got a lot to talk about. But I guess for y'all, I gotta show y'all, because there aren't too many videos about this series, actually. Not really a well-known series, because I believe at the time people dreaded to buy these. They were like $8, which honestly today that would have been a huge steal. Because this car is like the quality of like an Elite 64. You know, pretty good. Now, how am I going to open this box? We're going to have to find out at the same time. Alright, so thankfully I learned that technique. You know, the NASCAR, if you watch any of my videos, the NASCAR, you know, diecast using the tweezers, trying to open up the box and try not to rip it. Thankfully that's been coming in handy here, but man, is it kind of complicated to open up this. You just want to be careful, because I may or may not want to put it back in the box like this. I just want to take it out just to kind of look at it myself and, you know, and show y'all, because I believe there's only one video of this car, and it was only a turntable video, which ironically I'm going to be using a turntable for this as well. Let's see if we can try not to rip the box here. Alright, got the last flap, and yeah, this is how it's looking like so far. This is an interesting packaging. I think it's screwed on. Let me take another pause and try to unscrew this. Got the nice box here. This is where the capsule would be on display, and there's the rest of the set, of course. Most of these were American cars, except for a Volkswagen Bug and a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. Which, funnily enough, they actually misspelled on the box. But this one is kind of an interesting release, because it's like the race team Trans Am Camaro, driven by Jack Baldwin, excuse me. And, you know, it's the only race car in the set, and it's very interesting that they just decided to release this, but we're going to get more into that. See if we try to open up this capsule here. That's going to be very interesting to see. I think we just pull it. There we go. Yeah, so it just pulls out like that. Has the little pins and such. Little plastic piece. Because this is not acrylic plastic. It's kind of, there's a little play to it. But it looks proper though. See, there we go. Let's see if we pull this out. I think from that I should be able to drag out the die cast. Or maybe, no, not yet. But it has the little reflective thing. You're trying to see my face. Hi! We just pull out the other end so I don't have to pull the other side too, I hope. So yank it out. And there is the die cast. Now the thing I really got to do right now is actually take off the rubber band that's on here, because hopefully hopefully I'm not just recording its final moments of actually enjoying this car and actually ruining the paint job on this. So of course I have my trusty black glove here, and it has 2 screws on this, and man, this is already feeling very heavy. There we go, perfect. It is out. Put the screwdriver aside. I don't think I'm gonna need it anymore. The base is nice. It says 94 Camaro on it. Even though it's a sticker, because I think they just universally use it. And there is the car, free out of its pretty huge solitary confinement it has. Let me pull out my turntable here just so I can give you all a better look at this car. Okay, it took some time, but thankfully the thing kind of just snapped. But thankfully it's not ruining the paint. Hopefully, if we remove this thing, there we go. Left some residue, but thankfully not huge amount. We got another one. It's like pulling off a band-aid. There we go. So yeah, unfortunately with these rubber band models, they're gonna leave some sort of residue on there. On the paint. Thankfully nothing else on the hood, it's just on those parts. I do have a Diora too, the Wave Rippers one, one of my favorite Hot Wheels of all time. It did have that little thing, but it wasn't as bad as this, but you know, at least it's still not going to be very noticeable. But yeah, there is the 94 Camaro out of its huge solitary confinement prison, if I do say so myself. Man, this is a beautiful looking model we got right here. Well, I don't even know if it's a model. It's a diecast technically, but like seriously, Hot Wheels made this? Like, I think this is the most detailed version of the Jack Baldwin race team Trans Am Camaro that you can ever get from Hot Wheels. Of course, Hot Wheels speaking, because a company called GMP did a 1/18 scale of this exact car. And it's super detailed, but that thing's worth like $400, $500, I think. So I might have to hold off on that. But you know, this is still a nice one. And just like that GMP model, it's a 118 and it's a removable hood. This one should be able to remove on here too. Let's see, hopefully I don't break anything and then just end up with a sad model here. Whew, now after a long while of trying to open this thing up, trying to be careful with it, because like I said, it's a kind of an old car. Yep, the whole front end opens up and it comes apart like that. That is just awesome. Now, of course, I was struggling with it like a lot. I didn't want to use anything metal because, of course, if I mess up or something, I'm going to scratch the thing and I'm just going to be very sad. But thankfully I had some, I was using some floss, surprisingly, you know, those little floss plastic ones. I was using that to kind of pry it open, and finally, after some pulling and such, because I was trying to pull it at first, but it was really hard to, finally I was able to separate it here. It's probably been there for a long time, it just couldn't open. So that's why I'm just going to leave it like this for now, because I don't know how easy it is to put it back in. But while that, we could just take a look at the car without it. So we got some nice molded engine detail on there. Got the carburetor and such. Got a little blue thing. It's probably from the factory maybe. Got the amazing, unique Goodyear Eagle tires that were, of course, with the same wheel types that you see on the Trans Am cars. And this looks awesome. And I love the fact that the whole front bumper comes off. The real Trans Am racers, I think the Trans Am cars actually do have the whole removable thing, and I'll get a closer look up at that. Yeah, it's unfortunately the little residue of the thing, but the rubber band, but oh well. Of course, this molding is so much more better and so much more accurate than that original 93 Camaro that was only released in mainline. Because I do have one example, which I'll pull out in a second, of this exact livery and such, but this thing is so much more accurate. It looks so much more better, but unfortunately this was only a one-off, so only this specific casting was ever made of this 94 Camaro, and they never used it again, which is unfortunate because I wish they would have done some other liveries with it. Maybe the Ron Fellow Sunoco car, which they actually did release, but on the old chunky model. This one, so much more accurate, it looks so much better. Let's see if I could try to connect it back here. It's kind of funny. I like when like the car just like a piece of it just comes off like that. I think you should be able to. Yeah, it just sits on there. It was supposed to just sit on there. I think you put it in the front, then just kind of align it, I guess, because it's supposed to snap on. I think. Maybe that's why I kind of struggle with it, because we were supposed to pull it, but since it was so stuck together, it was like almost fused. Almost, thankfully, it wasn't completely fused. But I think, let's see if I can try to connect it back together here so we can have the whole car. I just wanted to show y'all how it looked with the thing attached. Let me cut the camera for a while. Alright, so, it's kind of a struggle to put it back together, but I guess for the meanwhile, I don't know how people put it back together and take it off, but for the meanwhile, I'm just going to let it sit there before I actually fully put it back in place, even though that'll be a pain if I really want to open it again. This car looks amazing. It looks awesome. It looks accurate and everything. The wheels, the paint job, it looks so much more higher quality than that original 94 Camaro, or the 93 Camaro, excuse me. So we're going to take a look at the front here. We got the Chevrolet bow tie on there. Got the blacked out, I guess, headlight detail, I guess, if you want to call it. A white and a small red stripe or a thin red stripe. Z28. Goodyear. Of course, the classic Hot Wheels logo. Love that era of the Hot Wheels logo. Got the Hot Wheels flame wrapping around the fender. That's pretty iconic. It's a little up, so I do apologize. It's not supposed to look like this, alright? I just placed it there for a while before I actually figured out how to put it back in place. Got Champion and Goodyear, or Chevrolet, excuse me. Got the number 1. Got a little painted silver for the exhaust. Got Jack Baldwin's name on the roof. Of course, that is the driver of this car. Got a Chevrolet bow tie on there. A bunch of white. I apologize for the glare there. There's a lot of glare there. There we go. It's taillight detail with white. The Chevrolet bow tie, Z28, and Hot Wheels with 2 logos on each on the rear spoiler. And the opposite side of the spoiler has Hot Wheels and the 2 logos. Yeah, this looks great. And then the base is metal. So it's metal, but it doesn't feel super heavy, I'll be honest with you. But that doesn't make it any more, doesn't make it look any less prettier than it is, because it looks fantastic. Now, of course, I did mention the mainline release, which I will pull out in just a second. This is one of the many variations they've done of it. This one has the tri-blade wheels on it, but it kind of does the job, right? It has the Hot Wheels logos. Number 1 is, that one's black and this one's red. Chevrolet on top, the Camaro banner. And everything else looks kind of similar, but it's not the same at all. This blue is definitely more accurate to the real car than this one. They always did a sparkly blue, which, I still like. It's pretty good for a mainline, but look how chunky it looks. Compare this, it does not look like the same car at all. Like, the headlights are very weird on this 93 Camaro than the 92, than the 94 Camaro. Of course, detail looks so much more better on here than this. Looks simple. It looks thick. It just looks, the proportions are not exact, unlike this. That's why this one was in final run, unfortunately. Or I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depends on what you like. I personally do like it, but of course, am I gonna prefer it over this? Absolutely not. And speaking of Trans Am, got the Ron Fellow Sunoco car. Unfortunately, it was on that same molding, so you can have 2 of realistic liveries. But yeah, you could really tell the difference on how chunky and huge, and overall the proportions not looking right as it's falling off. As it almost fell on the floor. Thankfully, I saved it. I don't think I've ever shown this car in the video before. It was released in the Camaro 4-pack, if I remember, or some other cars. But this one was definitely the best one. For some reason, all of them had rubber tires except this one, which sucks because I would have loved this one in rubber tires, but it's neither here nor there. Since it is a Trans Am car, I actually have a couple of Johnny Lightning Trans Am releases that they've done back in, I believe, 1999, and I'm trying to pull them out right here. 2 of them are Mustangs and 2 of them are Camaros. So we're going to compare the Camaros here first. We have this Tom Coleman Chevrolet Camaro. This was from the 1999 BF Trans Am Goodrich, the BF Goodrich Trans Am series. Of course, released by Johnny Lightning back in 1999. Yeah, it looks, wow, it actually looks very, the casting looks almost similar. Of course, a little bit more taillight detail on Johnny Lightnings and some other little stuff. But at least it looks uniform. It looks nice and everything. Molding, the casting's almost the same. But of course, that's not the only one I have too. I have this Johnny Millen, yeah, AutomationDirect.com Camaro. It's kind of funny. It has a little face and everything. Yeah, casting looks exactly the same. And all these are gonna look awesome together. Like I said, I don't think I've ever shown these Trans Am diecasts in a video before. There's the Johnny Lightning specifically. We got this, the Randy Rollman. We're gonna do something different. The Mustang Cobra, which is definitely one of my favorite Trans Am vehicles of all time. Yeah, it looks proper. It looks nice. I like the color purple, of course. How could I not have this one? And then next to it, the final one I have is the Paul Gentilozzi Homelink. Of course, the legend, one of the legends of Trans Am. Isn't he the most winningest driver in this series? Paul Gentilozzi. Yeah, these look awesome, as most of them are trying to fall off. It's strange that they're all retired models, but whatever. This is an absolutely beautiful car. If you can find it for a great price, $50 or even less, buy it. As soon as you see it, just click the buy it now, because you're never gonna find something. You're never gonna find this car maybe under $100. Usually, it's usually gonna be over $100, maybe $200, and it could go up, but I don't know. Because for some reason, out of this entire set, this car is the most expensive one to acquire. And thankfully, I got lucky and I found it for a very, very good price. Very happy to have this one. Might display it or might have it in my favorite box, because I really love this one. I really want to put it in the box, but like I said, it looks too nice to want to put in just a box. I just want to display it. But yeah, that has been the review of the Jack Baldwin 94 Hot Wheels Camaro from the 2006 Hot Wheels California Customs line. As I'm trying to open it, there we go. Finally got it on camera with its removable front. That looks so cool. Do you like this car? Because of course this car, do you like the race team liveries? Because this is kind of like Jack Baldwin that kind of started the whole race team deal. You know, his first Trans Am car, I think it was in 88 or 89. He drove a Hot Wheels car, and that's kind of where it started. But yeah, absolutely love this thing. Definitely going to be one of my holy grails in my collection. I'm happy to have it. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe. We're trying to reach those 1,000 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer every single day. I know we can make that, y'all. And I'll see you next time. Peace.